What's up? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Knowledgeable Scrub here, and I'm back with another YouTube video. Let's get it. What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing today? Let me know down below how you doing. I'm doing great. You know, when there's NBA basketball, it's always an enjoyable day. But let's get into the games today. We had the Bulls versus the Trailblazers as our highlight game of the day. This was a great game. It looked like it was going to be a blowout to start it. Portland came out hot. Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, cooking just like they do. But the Bulls, they fought back. They showed their toughness, and they came out with the win. Zach LaVine hit a game-winning three. Step back, get that boy money. It's just like that. I think that the Bulls are making a really good progression this season with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen. I think those three can be their corner pieces for the next 5 to 10 years, and they might be able to build something off that, and go to their first final since they had MJ. But moving on, we had the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. Now, granted, this is the Grizzlies without Ja Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr., who are both out. But the Lakers came out with the win. It didn't look easy. Well, let me say this. They came out and they put their foot on the Grizzlies' necks and showed them that obviously you're not able to compete with us. But then they let up off the gas a little bit, and the Grizzlies' young players came to fight, and they came to play, and they really scrapped and tried to get that win. But LeBron came down to the end, fade away, looking like MJ out there, and gamed them. So moving on, we got the Spurs versus the Clippers. Kawhi versus his old team. No PG, so it's just Kawhi versus the Spurs. And sadly, the Spurs came out with the win. Dejounte Murray and Patty Mills came out there and hooped. Dejounte Murray is starting to, cook up. He's always been a great defender on the defensive side of the basketball, but now he's starting to look like he is getting better to score around the rim and scoring around bigger players. Because when you take contact, it's kind of hard to score, but when you got that muscle built up, it's easier to score for you. And he's actually looked like he's starting to get a jump shot off the pick and the roll. So if Dejounte Murray can take that next step next to DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, Spurs might make the playoffs this year, and they might be something special. Moving on to the Clippers, we got to talk about this. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, stop acting like y'all run the league. Y'all haven't won a chip. Y'all didn't make it to the finals. Or y'all haven't won a chip together, I should say. Kawhi won a chip, but that was with the Raptors in San Antonio. That's not with the Clippers. So whatever you did in the past does not matter. We need to see you do something now. So I would just like the Clippers to be a little bit more humble until they actually do something. Because when you're talking like that, you're going to get teams best, and this is what happens. Worser teams with lesser talent come out and they beat you because you guys aren't prepared to play like they are prepared to play. But moving on, we got the Timberwolves and the number one pick, Anthony Edwards, versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets came out with the win, obviously. Joker and Jamal Murray did their thing. It was an easy game. But Anthony Edwards did have a highlight dunk, which you'll see right now. And he's looking special. If they'll put him into the starting lineup and actually give him the time once Cat comes back, I think they made the right pick, and they might have them a player on their hands because he's looking nice. And lastly, we have the Jazz versus the Nets. Blowout. Jarrett Allen was babying Rudy Gobert, even though he just signed that new 5-year contract. Donovan Mitchell was off. And Kyrie came out first quarter, 7 for 7, 18 points. After that, it was really a wrap. There was nothing else the Jazz could do. It was with no KD, but it still just looked like the Nets was overpowering the Jazz, and the Jazz just didn't come out to play in Brooklyn that day. But moving on, we have some injuries that happened yesterday. Killian Hayes for the Pistons, the number 9 overall pick, if you guys didn't know him. He's out with a torn labrum in his hip. He'll be out for the next 6 to 9 months. We're going to pray for him. Hopefully he gets back in a speedy recovery to continue his career because he was playing really good. And Kevin Durant, it's not an injury, but he will be out for the next 3 games or the next week because he came into contact with somebody who had COVID, and they do contact tracing, so they want to keep him out just to make sure that he's okay and everybody on the team's okay so they can continue the season. But moving on, finally, last thing I'll do for you is talk about some highlight games that we'll talk about in tomorrow's video. The first one we got, this is a big game. We got the Warriors versus the Clippers. Steph Curry and Draymond Green, hopefully against Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Hopefully Paul George plays. I don't know. I think he will, but hopefully he does. We got a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals from last year. The Celtics versus the Heat. We got the number 3 overall pick from this year versus the number 5 overall pick from 2017. The Hornets versus the Hawks. LaMelo Ball versus Trae Young. And finally, we got Chris Paul and the new look Raptors going against the struggling but still solid Raptors team. It's your boy Knowledgeable Scrub, and I'm out. Peace.